Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys floated as potential option for former 28 TD QB. The Dallas Cowboys could be an ideal landing spot for a polarizing quarterback. The Cowboys will likely enter the draft without a contract extension in place for Dak Prescott. That means Dallas could very well be without its starting quarterback following the 2024 season. With that in mind, Dallas could very well target a quarterback at some point during the 2024 NFL Draft. As Fox Sports suggests, the Cowboys could consider potential options such as Bo Nix or Michael Penix with their 24th overall pick in the first round. However, if Dallas doesn't land one of the second-tier quarterback options late in the first round, they could always target a player such as South Carolina's Spencer Rattler in the later rounds of the draft. Rattler is a projected third-round pick. That said, Penix, Washington, and Nix, Oregon, were each 2023 Heisman Trophy finalists and had decorated two-year stints at their respective school. South Carolina's Spencer Rattler is another potential option for Dallas. The 23-year-old Rattler was once considered the top quarterback in the nation. Coming out of high school in 2019, Rattler was considered the top quarterback prospect in the nation. It didn't take him long to make his impact felt at the collegiate level. During the 2020 season, Rattler emerged as the Oklahoma Sooners starting quarterback and led the team to a 9-2 record and Big 12 championship. He threw for 28 touchdowns against 7 interceptions. Entering the 2021 season, Rattler was considered the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. However, as quickly as Rattler's star rose, it fell. Despite going 6-0 as the starter to begin the season, he was replaced by Caleb Williams in the Sooners' rivalry matchup with the Texas Longhorns after turning the ball over twice and trailing 35-17. Caleb Williams, the projected number 1 pick in this year's draft, then led the Sooners to a 55-48 win after trailing by 21 points. Rattler never started another game for the Sooners. He then transferred to South Carolina, where he started over the past 2 seasons. While he never regained the elite form that made him a potential candidate for the Heisman Trophy in Oklahoma, he had steady success with the Gamecocks. Rattler led the Gamecocks to an 8-5 record during the 2022 season, including a number 23 finish in the AP polls. During the 2023 season, Rattler threw 19 touchdowns against 8 interceptions for a career-high 3,186 passing yards. As Corey Bonini of The Huddle notes, Rattler is a polarizing prospect due to his smallish frame at just 6 feet tall. However, his arm talent is up there with the very best prospects in this year's draft, including Williams. South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler may be somewhat of a polarizing prospect due to his smallish frame and ball security concerns versus plus passing traits and mobility. The Cowboys are considered a sleeper team to select a quarterback in the draft, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Considering Dallas is still sending the message that they plan to offer Prescott a long-term contract, selecting Rattler in the middle rounds of the draft accomplishes 2 things. It gives them an insurance policy and it doesn't send the message that he's a direct threat to Prescott. Dallas Cowboys 2024 NFL Draft Picks, full list by round. The Dallas Cowboys own 7 picks in the 2024 NFL Draft, including number 24 overall in round 1. The Cowboys probably need to address their offensive line after losing left tackle Tyron Smith and center Tyler Biadasz in free agency. The Cowboys finished 12-5 last season before losing in the wild-card round to the Green Bay Packers. They have had a relatively quiet offseason, acquiring 6 players in free agency, including linebacker Eric Kendricks. The 2024 NFL Draft will take place at Campus Martius Park and Hart Plaza in Detroit from April 25 through April 27. Round 1 will begin April 25 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, while rounds 2 and 3 are on April 26 starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Rounds 4 through 7 begin at noon Eastern Time on April 27. The draft will be broadcast on ESPN, ABC, ESPN+, and the ESPN app. There are 257 total picks in the draft. Here's the full list of the Cowboys' draft picks by round, along with a look at their top roster needs headed into the 2024 season. Top 3 needs: OL, RB, LB. The Cowboys lost left tackle Tyron Smith and center Tyler Biadasz in free agency and could use ready-made starters at either position. Same goes at running back with Tony Pollard leaving for Tennessee, meaning the Cowboys' leading returning rusher is Rico Dowdle, who had 361 yards in 2023. Linebacker was the final need listed over defensive tackle, even though the Cowboys added Eric Kendricks in free agency. DeMarvion Overshown is coming off a torn ACL, and while there are positive reports of his recovery, he has yet to play a down in an NFL game. The Cowboys can look to remaining free agency to find a defensive tackle rather than spending a premium pick on that spot for a second straight year. Todd Archer. Justin Fields' future signing with Dallas? Cowboys speculated as Steelers QB suitor. The Dallas Cowboys have headed down a dangerous path. The slippery slope to quarterback purgatory is steeper than those taking quarterback Dak Prescott for granted would like to admit, and there are decreasing reasons to be optimistic about Dallas' situation under center. One may not believe Prescott is gone until he's wearing another uniform, and that's fair. With 11 months until his impending free agency, a lot can change, relationships can be mended, and pen can hit paper. Until then, though, it's worth speculating on who could replace him. The most likely option may lie in the NFL draft, but at this point the 2025 class isn't inspiring. Could Prescott be replaced by a younger veteran instead? As Christopher Klein notes, Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Justin Fields could be an option for the Cowboys. Fields, a former first-round pick, flashed potential increasingly often during his Chicago Bears tenure, but the down-to-down consistency proved to be elusive. He'll get a fresh start with a respected organization, but he'll begin his campaign on the bench behind veteran quarterback Russell Wilson. Odds are the Pittsburgh Steelers will decline Justin Fields' $25.7 million contract option for next season, sending the former first-round pick into free agency, Klein wrote. Fields is the obvious successor to Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh, at least in theory. But, if Fields ends up riding the pine all season as expected, he could be tempted to find a more suitable home. Fields had the best year of his career in 2023, throwing for 2,562 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. He set career highs in completion percentage, passer rating, and interception rate, but remained below average basically across the board. Simply put, he'd be a seismic shift from Prescott's game. While incredibly physically talented, perhaps more than Prescott, Fields lacks the post-snap proficiencies of his potential predecessor, and his struggles managing sacks and operating the quick game means a schematic shift would have to be in play. It's clear the league does not put much stock into Fields' 3 seasons as the Bears' QB1, Klein wrote. While his output was never great, the complete lack of faith in such a dynamic athlete is a bit surprising. It could set up Dallas with a chance to find major value in the bargain bin. Of course, this theory means Dallas would be not putting much stock in its own young backup, Trey Lance, who is also free next March. But this idea? If nothing else, choosing Fields as the next quarterback of America's team would give them a unique upside other more steady passers couldn't offer. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Justin Fields? Leave your opinion in the comments.